Now, an escalating war of words is breaking out between the states and the federal government all over the vaccine rollout. The states are saying the feds are hindering the scheme. Queensland Deputy Premier Stephen Miles came out swinging at this morning's press conference, condemning the government over the slow distribution of the vaccine rollout.
Every time the Morrison government wants to deflect from their failings, they launch an attack on the states and territories. There's been almost no communication. You know, the Prime Minister has not contacted the Premier about this at all. We have not had certainty of supply to our hospitals through the vaccine rollout so far.
Now, there's been growing questions about the handling of the vaccine rollout, and particularly with GPs and medical professionals expressing concern about facets of the program. Joining me now is Surgeon Dr Geoffrey Wells. Dr Wells, thank you for coming in. You're a surgeon, you're not a GP, but you speak to your colleagues. What are they saying about this program? Why is the rollout so slow? And what could we do to make life a little bit easier for the GPs who are participating in the program?
Right. Well, thanks first of all for having me, Rita. It's nice to see you again. I think there's two issues here. First of all, lack of supply. We know that the supply problem was fairly difficult, problems with the EU, etc. But this has been resolved now, because fortunately CSL are manufacturing the vaccine. I think people know this from the 22nd of March. Yep. CSL are going to make 1 million vaccine doses plus a week. So this is terrific.
But we haven't had a supply issue thus far, though, have we? I mean, we've imported enough to meet our targets.
Well, I'm not
we're
sure,
very
Rita.
close to our. Like, we're not even close. We missed our target by 85%.
Yes,
that doesn't fill one with confidence.
In the last 6 weeks in the UK, and you know, the Australian healthcare system, I believe, I've worked in the UK, but I believe the Australian healthcare system is probably the best healthcare system in the world. But if we compare this now with the UK, in the last 6 weeks, they've given 30 million doses and we've given 600,000 doses. So there's something wrong. Yeah. But it's not, part of it is, Rita, a lack of supply, because I was talking to a GP today in Endeavour Hills. They haven't had any vaccine given to their practice, and it's a big practice.
And they probably have people calling up every day wanting to come in. So with the GPs, what else are they saying about the process that is not logical, that has the bureaucracy's gone mad? Is it true that after they give the injection, the GP has to sit with the patient for 15 minutes to see if there's an adverse reaction? I mean, surely the patient can sit in the waiting room and be attended to if there is an issue.
Totally, Rita. The problem with that is we don't want patients in waiting rooms. So if you go to a lot of GPs, patients are actually in the car and then they get called from the car. So minimal people in the waiting room. Yeah. Now, in the old days, 30 years ago, GPs have been giving flu vaccinations. They haven't had any trouble with flu vaccinations. True. So a lot of GPs are saying, well, what's the issue?
Well, what are they saying about what are they saying is slowing them down? Apart from the 15-minute thing, what is there other hurdles being put in their way that's slowing?
Well, not so much rollout? For the GPs, but for the hurdle. The hurdles are for the elderly patient. These are the patients that maybe they don't have a computer, they're not all that internet savvy.
That's right.
And you know, it's quite difficult for them to get access to know who to ring, how to contact the people involved, and how to get their inoculation. So once again, Rita, a lot of stress as a result of COVID.
Absolutely.
This is what's happened with the fear factor has been reunited. And it's a very, very sad situation.
And we've seen Brisbane lockdown, we've seen people's plans thrown into disarray.
Totally. This is extraordinary to think.
And what's the impact, the health impact of that? People's mental health and people's stress levels, with perhaps fearing their business is going to go under, because again, this is going to shut down a whole bunch of businesses. So as a medical professional, what's been your experience with the unintended consequences of lockdowns and these harsh restrictions we've adopted?
I think what's happened is the Labor governments in particular in Australia have been transfixed with the virus to the exclusion of other illnesses, cancer, cardiovascular disease, neurological problems. These are common issues that have actually been put on the back burner, and people's general mental health has deteriorated. And there's a lot of anxiety out in the community. There's a lot of fear. Now, for my situation, my wife has been a bit unwell. We were absolutely looking forward to going to Mooloolaba on Sunday. We're up in the air. We don't know whether to go. I don't want to go there and then have to self-isolate for 2 weeks when I come back. So, you know, lots of the things the Morrison government, I think, has done in this situation have been good, but I think they could have done a better job in the rollout.
And we've heard from cancer specialists, cancer screenings being missed, all sorts of procedures that are fairly critical being missed. Dr Wells, thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure, Rita.